Welcome to the podcast of CreateConnectConvert.co, a community of empowered businesswomen by empowered businesswomen. Let's dig in.
Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Create, Connect, Convert podcast. We're a community for empowered women by empowered women, and we're here to dive into another exciting topic all about business, and at the same time provide you with the answers you need to help you be your best entrepreneurial self. I'm Kristy Crippen, founder of Collaborative Partners, and I'm hosting today's episode. And before we dive into today's topic, all about habits, I would love to turn it over to my esteemed co-hosts and have them introduce themselves. Laura, let's kick things off with you.
Well, thank you so much. I love being here with you today. So I'm Laura Templeton with 30 Second Success. I'm sorry, we started laughing before we started recording. So it's still, the laugh is still stuck in there. So I'm Laura Templeton with 30 Second Success, and I love supporting purpose-driven brand communications consultant. Yeah, I'm a purpose-driven brand communications consultant who loves supporting purpose-driven business owners and professionals in creating that brand communications that connects with your ideal clients, attracts them to you, and gets you growing in the right direction for your business. So if you are struggling, communicate effectively, even when you're laughing, I'm Laura Templeton with 30 Second Success.
I'm so impressed that you got through that. Let's hope I can do it on my end too. I'm Regina Garay. The name of my business is Right Brain Loves Left. I'm a digital marketing manager and educator, and which means that I love to teach you how to manage your marketing, and I also love to take care of it for you. I love marketing. I know not a lot of people say that, but especially small business owners. But I mainly work in the interior design and construction industry, but I love helping other small businesses and also nonprofits. You can find me at rightbrainlovesleft.com. I made it through.
Well done.
Chris, thank
Well
you.
done.
Well done, ladies. And I'm Kristy Crippen. I'm the founder of Collaborative Partners. I'm your intuitive thought partner and business process architect. I love working with hardworking entrepreneurs and small business owners with such challenges that are in the field of or in the areas of productivity, time management, scheduling, also habits, which is what we're going to be talking about today, accountability and organization. I also love giving them that supportive ear so that they know that they're not alone in business. And let's figure out what are those gaps in your business and whom do we need to bring in to fill those gaps. So without further ado, let's dive into today's topic. We hear all the time about how hugely important habits are, not just in business, but in your personal life too. And yet for so many, habits can be a real struggle they feel like it's something that they have to tackle. It can feel laborious. It can feel like this uphill battle. And so I thought it was a really great topic for us to dive into because this is something that can apply not just for your business, but also for your personal life. So let's dive in and discuss this topic deeper. I want to throw this out to you both. Our first question, what are some of the ways in which habits can either uplift us or serve against us? I would love to know
That's a
your
really
thoughts on
good, it's a really great question because my mind automatically went to, well, are we talking about good habits or bad habits? So like, okay, then, because,
That's
obviously
an
good
important
habits,
distinction. Yeah.
right? I was like, oh, because some of the bad habits that I've had in the past did not serve me. And, most of them had to do with my, habit of smoking and all that fun stuff, or, staying up late or things like that. I think one of the biggest things, where habits can really uplift us is when they are serving us well, right? So you do need to distinguish between whether it's a good habit or a bad habit, right? And if it is, having that understanding of whether it's a habit that's serving us, again, going back to the who we are now, like we talked about in our last episode, really understanding who we are now. Is it serving me now? And I think that's one of the biggest pieces of understanding whether a habit's going to uplift us or work against us is what type of habit is it? Is it one that's creating a positive outcome, or is it one that's creating a negative outcome? And being able to evaluate that in the moment. Bad habits are necessary, right? I used to smoke because my stress levels were high and it, helped me to calm down. And that was not a good excuse to smoke, but it was an excuse to smoke. We're talking over 30 years ago. So actually probably closer to 40 at this point. But you think about those habits that, sometimes in the moment they serve us. But once we let them go, we realize how bad they were. So I think that's one of the things to look at from that perspective. And that question is whether it uplifts us or serves against us. And sometimes a habit can change over time. So I know I just went really deep on that one. So I don't know. Maybe you guys want to weigh in on this? I don't know.
No, it's,
Just
there's things that, there's easy habits. You walk into the room, you click on the light turns on. That's a habit. We've done it hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of times. It's
mhm.
not, we don't even think about it anymore. Then, when you were talking, Christy, at the beginning, where we think that habits are laborious, sometimes the building of a habit can be laborious. And I'll give you an example. Processed food. It's easy to eat. It is so bad for your body, and to move away from that and get into food that's actually good for your body, it you're looking at two different things. Will you be uplifted at the end of this journey? Yes. Right now, it is not fun. So you're like, why, I'm so busy. Why can't I just go grab that? Instead of I have to make this
Yeah.
whole build this whole thing. But so I think we have to look at how those habits will serve us in the future, and just
Mm,
know that I know that right now this isn't ideal, but in the future it will uplift my mind, it will uplift my spirit, it will uplift my body, and it will uplift every interaction I have with anybody because I feel better. So that's also a takeaway there too. I think I went a little deep too, Laura. Habits are everything, you guys.
yes.
It's everything.
Yes.
Okay.
I love that you both went deep. And before I asked that first initial question, I was really thinking about, okay, what's the lead into this discussion? And habits, when you say that word habits to people, it elicits such a wide variety of emotions.
Mhm.
There are those feelings that come up where it's like, oh, I've got XYZ habits nailed down and I feel great about it. But then it's over here, I'm not feeling so good about these. And you just want to quick sweep them under the carpet, under the rug, as it were. And I love what you both were saying about examining what are those good habits that uplift us? What are the habits that don't serve us and consequently drag us down? How can our habits change over time? What are those circumstances where we think that a habit is maybe a good habit, but in fact it's not? Or maybe we recognize that it's not a good habit, but it's something that is getting us through that moment. And then later on, we get to that point where we say, okay, now I want to make that change. So let's move into our next question. And I'm for all of our for those of you who are watching us on YouTube, I'm just referencing my notes here on the screen. What are some specific habits that each of you have created for yourself? And how have they then transformed your life and your business? Because I think that our listeners could really benefit from learning from the two of you with you're both such powerhouses and rock stars and how you've built your businesses and you have such rich, full lives. So what can we all learn from you both?
I can jump in here, Laura, just to,
That
because I know exactly the one that did. Okay, so um, I had a small business. I was a decorative painter. I had come from corporate America, and I was up all day on scaffolds all the time. I was exhausted at the end of the day. My brother and I owned the business together. He still owns the business as on his own, but the thing that was very important for me that I learned in corporate America is that marketing will keep you going. And so it is something that every small business owner, some people just don't like it. Some people have told me that it causes them nausea to think about marketing. And, and so I made it a priority to sit down one day a week and do social media posts, do different things that send out, and this was a while ago. So I would send out mailers. I created a website when it wasn't, a website now is you have to have a website, but back then it wasn't. So you created a website and did all the things to do the marketing to keep us going forward. And I built this business with the help of that marketing. My brother, did a lot of on his end, I did a lot of the marketing, and we built a business that was phenomenal. So creating that habit of every week spending that time to look at your marketing, because we get so focused on our clients, our services, our service partners, that we forget about our business, and our business suffers when we don't think about the marketing. So that alone has not only helped my business, but it has helped me help other businesses. Because sometimes, and it's okay, there's no judgment here. Sometimes the marketing, it takes too much time and you can hand it off to someone else, but it is being taken care of. Or you can learn how to, incorporate it as a habit into your weekly business and just move that stride forward. But that has to come from within. You have to make that time. Okay,
Mm.
I've said my
I
piece.
love that. I love that. And that is so strong. I love how you tied it into the marketing, right? And the plan of marketing and making sure it was a weekly thing for you. And I think that's so imperative in our businesses. One of the things that I learned from reading The Compound Effect by Darren Hardy was having a routine, right? Because sometimes our days get a little hectic, but I have the habit of my morning routine and my evening routine. I do the same things in the morning that I do, and then I do the same things in the evening to set myself up for a good night's rest. So my morning routine consists of getting up, starting the coffee pot, drinking my salt water, going for my walk, prepare, drinking a protein shake. Everything that I do in the morning, my reading, my journaling, everything is all part of that habit. And I wake up at the same time. I set my alarms. I live by my alarms. I know what time I should be out the door walking. God forbid I sleep in because it's a little too cold in Florida. I will not complain that it's a little too cold in Florida, just so you know, considering the fact that it's like close to 20 degrees where my
Oh, you
daughter
can
lives right
complain.
now. So
I
like, yeah,
complain
no,
too.
yeah.
It's 40
As soon as
degrees.
I
That's
say,
cold.
yeah, I know,
It's
right?
it's 27
But I
here.
get on if it's cold, I get on a treadmill. So, there's no excuse. My habit still is there. Like if I don't go out the door to walk, I get on the treadmill.
Mm.
Same thing. But everything I think the habit of using, having the set schedule for my morning routine and my evening routine matter. And using my calendar, right? That is a huge habit for me. I used to use a paper calendar, but then I started using the Google Calendar. And over time, I've gotten really good at using my Google Calendar to the point that now, like, I share it with my husband and he sees what's on my calendar. So when he's making appointments, he can see if I've got something scheduled. And,
Oh,
it
love.
just makes, I know, right? It
Mhm.
makes life so much easier that, when you use that, when you create those habits and he's in the habit of checking my calendar when he needs to schedule something. So when we have habits, it actually causes a ripple effect, again, that compound effect on our lives, on our businesses, how it improves what we're doing. When we take the things that can be systematized and create habits, it makes our lives easier. It
Mhm.
makes our businesses easier too, because those things have become part of our system, our plan. And I think that's where the habits really come in. Like I've gotten into a really good habit of making sure I check my calendar the night before, see what's happening. Every Sunday night I look at my whole calendar and go, okay, what does my week look like? Hey, I have a speaking gig on Friday. Do I actually have the slide deck prepared for it? Is a big question. So those are the habits that you build over time, and they become part of who you are. And I will tell you though, there have been a couple times where I've gotten ill, and it really messes up my habits. Have you guys experienced that? Like something
Yes.
is, you've traveled or you've gotten sick, and all of a sudden your habits suffer, and it takes a little time to get back into it. It's amazing how long you can be doing a habit And then a couple days go by and you're not doing it. And all of a sudden it's like, oh, now I got to
Derails you. It
it's like you
derails
got
you
to reboot.
completely. And you're like, what? How did 2 days cause such chaos?
Like, oh, who's messing with my thing? Right. Yeah. So,
Ah, ladies, thank
Kristy,
you.
don't
That
get us started. Okay.
I know. Oh my
yeah, I
gosh.
know, right?
That Regina, that was incredible how you wove that story of your past professional life and how you created something that was so beautiful for the business that you had with your brother. And then that cemented and look at how that is carried into your present day in the
Yep.
work that you do now, not just for yourself and your own business, but for all of your amazing clients. And then for you, Laura, the Google Calendar, and then how that's helped, you, not just you, but you and your family. And then what you were saying about the habit stacking, how you build, one small thing and you get that in place. And then okay, what's the next thing I can build that is like the next natural step for this thing that I've got in place. And I find I love that too, for where you have the morning routine and then the evening routine. In my desk organization presentation, I have that tip in there, even though it's nothing to do with organization. One of the tips that I give toward the end of the talk is push your chair in at the end of the day. So many of us work, when I say us, I mean entrepreneurs, small business owners, we work from home. And it's so easy, right? Talk about this as a habit to go eat dinner with your family and then, oh, let me just go check email one more time before I close down at the end of the day. So it's like 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock hour, and you're longing to be with your family. And yet here you are checking email. And then you get sucked back in to doing all these different things. And then it's like, my day never ends. So push your chair in because it signals to your brain, my day is done. So what are those habits that you, as our gentle listeners and watchers of our on YouTube, can create for yourself? Um, Before we go into our third and final question for this episode, our final discussion point, I just want to just give everybody a friendly reminder to hit that notification bell on YouTube so that you never miss a future episode, and follow us on your favorite podcast platform, wherever you listen to your podcasts, and be sure to like and comment on our episodes. Your comments mean the world to us, and if you have questions, we would love to answer them. And it really does wonderful things for our channel, and we appreciate you. And be sure to check out our store for fabulous Create, Connect, Convert merch. So let's go into our last question for this episode. Life is always progressing to the next stage. So as you enter into that new season of your life, habits that have previously served you, and Laura, you touched on this back in the first question, habits that have previously served you may well need to be refreshed or adjusted, or said goodbye to. So, what recommendations for our listening audience can you share to help them create long-lasting habits? And also, which one of your current habits have you outgrown and is in need of a change? Maybe have you been noticing like, this habit isn't in alignment with my life anymore or in my business, and I know I need to change. So, what do you ladies think about that?
Ice cream every night.
Mm.
What do you do every
Now,
night?
I know I love ice cream, and if I could have it every night, I
So
would,
does
but I
my
know it is
husband. Every
not
night,
doing
ice
my
cream.
it is not doing my body any good. So that's the one habit that I know that I need to change, because my body will be much better without it. No, I think that there yes, there are habits that you always pinpoint. I don't think Regina brought up the whole eating healthy side of things, and that it kind of spurred me to go, oh my gosh, yes, you're right. And how food changes everything. And this is one of the things that I think is so important when we look at our life as a whole, the things that we're doing, the things that we're enjoying. I think the one thing that I would love to do more of and to create more of a habit of, and I'm setting an alarm for myself right now, is to take a breather in the middle of the day. Sometimes I have a habit of working all day long, and not stopping because I have one more thing to do. And, just setting a timer for myself to take a lunch break, just take a lunch break. And I think that is something that has become a really significant time for me. I literally will go and not just go make a sandwich and come back to my desk. I go and I make lunch for myself, for my husband. We both work from home. So I make lunch for us and we sit at the kitchen table and or out on the lanai by the pool and just enjoy our time together. It's like that midday break. And it's so refreshing to have that. And a lot of times I'll actually go out before I come back to my desk. I'll actually go out and walk around the house, which is, just kind of that refresher. I've already taken my long walk in the morning, but it's nice to go out and walk around the house and kind of reground and just, it's a gift that I give to myself. And it's a habit that's been one that I'm enjoying creating.
Hmm. I love
I love
that.
that. It's so important to put a break in the middle of the day and actually put it in your calendar because which kind of segues into my bad habit that I'm trying to get rid of is that and I know this is tough for everyone out there. I'm an organized person, and I do this constantly. So for everyone, I feel your pain is that in my head, I know this task is going to take me, 2 hours. And so I allot 2 hours for it. And my bad habit is that I just allot 2 hours for it because it's not going to take 2 hours. It's going to take me 2.5, 3, so I need to build in some, I don't know what to call it,
Buffer,
bubble
Buffer
time,
time.
buffer,
buffer time.
buffer.
I'm going to call it
Yeah.
bubble time because I like bubble better.
There you go.
Bubble time, to help, even if because I like 7 to 8, I do this. 8 to 9, I do this. 9 to 10, I do this. 10 to 11, I do this. And it's not realistic. It's not. So I need to, that my bad habit is that it's not realistic, Regina. You need to add a little bit of 15 minutes here, 15 minutes there, and it's going to help you at the end of the day. And you guys, I do this all the time. I'm really organized, and I still do this. So I can only imagine others who are struggling with this as well.
Mhm.
So that is my bad habit. And,
Mhm.
putting it together, I think you asked how to create long, there's really no other way than to just be consistent with it. If you fall
Mhm.
down, get up. Laura and I, those 2 days derail us, and it might take us 4 days to get back into it, but it's fall 7 times, stand up 8. Just there's no easy, breezy ways
Mm.
other than to go through.
Yeah, go through it and examine, keep your antenna up as you're going through it and just listening for those signals. What is your inner knowing telling you? Is your inner knowing saying, "Oh, this feels good. Okay, let's do this next. Oh, this feels like another natural step forward. Let's keep going." Or, "Oh, I feel like we're kind of veering off track here. Like we got to course correct." It's constantly like listening to your inner knowing and constantly taking inventory. I think that we've covered so much in this episode. We've talked about, foundation for good habits. We've talked about what are those habits that maybe you'd like to say goodbye to, and what can you replace them with? It's something that's healthier. We've talked about what are different things that you've done in the past to help set you up for success in business and in life. We talked about how habits can either uplift us and be meaningful and make our lives easier and richer, or they can drain us of our energy. So, in conclusion today, really take a look at your life, look at how you're showing up each and every day, and just reflect what are things that are not serving me well, but what are those things that are? And for the things that are, can I dial it up even louder? Can I amp it up? The things that aren't serving you, sometimes all it takes is a little like 3-degree click to the right, and then you've got it nailed. It I think that we sometimes think it takes a major overhaul to change something. And sometimes it's just a simple little tweak. So thank you all for listening. We appreciate all of you. We can't wait to have you join us for another informative and exciting episode with all of us. And Laura, would you take us out?
But before we do that, I would love
Yes.
Regina to share the quote she shared with us before we jump.
Oh,
on
yes,
here.
please.
Oh, okay. Yes, it is. And I did want to say something that you brought up, and I wanted to just mention it because I told everybody earlier, basically, you guys are going to have to go through it. So that's the way it is, habits. But there is another way, and that's just to break down that habit into small, easy, palatable, bites. So you don't have to go cold turkey on, let's say, processed food. You can say, I'm going to get rid of potato chips this month,
There you go.
and then move on to something else. So, yeah, I didn't want to be uninspiring. But
You can
it's a
never
quote.
be uninspiring.
No.
Come on, Regina.
You know what I mean? Like,
No.
habits are tough. You're going to have to do it. But yeah, okay. Goals tell us where we're going. Habits tell us who we are. I love that.
Love that. I love that. Let that one sink in, right? So remember to always be creating, always be connecting, and never stop converting your dreams into reality. And that's a wrap for today's episode of CreateConnectConvert.co. We hope you're feeling inspired, empowered, and ready to make your next bold move. Remember, the journey doesn't end here. Head over to CreateConnectConvert.co to download our latest resources, sign up for our upcoming events, or hop on the wait list for our exclusive mastermind community. There's a seat at the table waiting just for you. Thank you for tuning in, and be sure to click like and subscribe. We'll see you back here next week to dive into another game-changing conversation. And here's a little something to carry you until then. Keep creating, keep connecting, and never stop converting your dreams into reality.